Hello, I'm Melissa Joy, and welcome back to my channel. My purpose is to inspire you and catalyze your upliftment into your highest vision for a beautiful, abundant, blissful, and enlightened life. So, have you ever heard that saying about the quality of your life is proportional to how much good you can let in? I actually found a quote by Alan Cohen that's just slightly different. He says, "How good can you let it get?" Just let that sink in for a second. How good can I let it get? There's no doubt that that puts the responsibility on you. So I attribute this not letting in all your good, because if you were letting it in, you would be seeing it, right? So why am I not letting in all my good? I attribute this to a little bit of disconnection between the heart and the mind. And what I mean by that is the heart, which represents your desires and your wanting and just sort of going with the flow of your wants and dreams, isn't exactly on the same page as your mind, which is more concerned with fear and protection. So when there's disconnection there, you really can't allow your true dreams and your true desires in. I really think there's a wonderful writer that puts it much better. This is Vadim Zealand, and he wrote the book called Realitytransurfing. His explanations about that connection between heart and mind are very striking. This is what he says about it. Suppose you want to get rich. Would you be ready to accept this gift of fate? Of course, if someone were giving away a spare million, we would all find it in ourselves to accept the gift without any problem. Wealth will not ruin your life, as some films with a moral try to teach us. But this is not my point. Are you ready to take the million? You are probably thinking that I mean that the million must be earned and won. But this is not what I mean either. Are you ready to simply choose and allow yourself to have? And then he goes on to say, it is essential to give yourself permission to have. The feeling is similar to riding a bicycle without stabilizers for the first time, when suddenly all doubt, hesitation, and verbiage disappears, leaving nothing but the wordless clarity of knowing. The feeling of clarity without words, knowledge without faith, confidence without hesitation, comes from the unity that exists between heart and mind. When you experience this state, you sense your own oneness with the silent force that rules the universe. So those are Vadim Zealand's words. So this heart-mind connection is really essential. So what we're going to do today is a meditation/experience that is designed to help you let down your guard, to trust and let in all your good. So, why do we have this discord between the heart and the mind? There's this resistance that you can kind of feel pushing in between the two. And I'm going to suggest that this is the fear of the mind. So fear is behind not allowing in all our good that is actually possible for us. So let's just dig a little deeper under that fear and unearth what is actually going on. What are we so afraid of? To address that question, think of this. If I relax and let go, fill in the blank. How would you complete that sentence? If I just relax and let it all go, what bad thing might happen? And you might say something like, well, if I relax and just let it all go, everything will fall apart. My life will be in shambles. I'll become broke. Something like that, right? So what's really going on here? It's that we think, or the mind thinks, that we will lose. We'll lose something. So it's a fear of loss. And in this particular case, it's the fear of loss of control. So that's one big aspect. It's if I'm not in control, then everything will just go to hell, right? So what about this one? Fear of loss of approval or love. So again, if I say, if I relax and just let it all go, what might happen? Well, maybe I won't fit in anymore. Maybe I'll just be this slacker, this weirdo. My friends won't like me. My family will criticize me. So what that comes down to is fear of loss of approval or love. They're synonyms. And there's a third one. This one is the fear of loss of safety. So safety just sounds kind of similar, actually, because you do have safety in being loved and accepted by your family, and there's a false feeling of safety in feeling like you're in control. So they're all kind of three intertwined and interrelated. But what we're going to do is take a fear that you have from each of these areas, from control, love and approval, and safety. And we're going to use the Sedona Method to ask questions, an inner inquiry, and see if we can start to loosen up that energy and get it a little more open and flowing and let go of those things that are putting up the wall around us for protection and keeping out all that good. Now you might say, I'm not afraid of being approved of. I don't care. I mean, I don't notice that. I really don't care what people think. Or I don't try to control. But you know, if you're really, really aware, you'll notice that a lot of these beliefs are deeply hidden. They're very deeply subconscious. So just go along with this and see what happens for you. So in the Sedona Method, it consists of asking a series of questions. So you just allow the question to come into your mind, and then you just say yes or no. They're yes or no questions. And most of the time you'll find that you will say yes, because you want to say yes to yourself. So let's start with the first one, fear of loss of control. Okay? And as I say, these questions are going to seem kind of counterintuitive and strange, because I'm going to be asking you to welcome those feelings and welcome them and let them in, okay? Now, you're not making it worse by doing that. What you're doing is you're actually opening a space of acceptance where that feeling can actually be questioned by your mind. Since you're involving the mind in this process, your mind will go, I don't know. It'll soften up a little bit its push and its fear. And you'll just see that in that space of allowing, those beliefs will start to meld and mold and move in your system, and that will allow them to move and go out and leave a big open space of clarity. So just go along with it, give it a try, and see what happens. So the first one, let's think of, pick a fear about losing control, okay? So just like the ones I just mentioned, if I just let it all go, blank, fill in the blank. What's going to really happen? What are you really afraid of with control? Like losing control. You think you're going to become poor. Maybe you'll lose your house. Maybe you'll get fired from your job. You'll just turn into, a couch potato, whatever that is. So pick that feeling and just take a deep breath and go into your body as best you can. And I'm going to ask you these questions. There are 3 of them. And if you can, it's more helpful to answer out loud. If you're in a place where you can't answer out loud, that's fine. You can just do it in your head. So it's very helpful to give a number to that fear. Like, how intense is it? Is it a 6, a 7? How strong and how true does it feel to you right now? Okay, so pick that fear, feel the feeling. What does that feel like? Where is it in your body? What color is it? What shape is it? Is it in your solar plexus? Is it in your heart? Is it in your throat? And once you've got a grip and tuned into that feeling, just listen to my questions and answer yes or no. So the first question is, could you just welcome that feeling as best you can? You just listen to my question, let your mind sort of think about it a second, and then answer. Probably 99% of the time people say yes. So could you just welcome that feeling of that loss of control as best you can? Just welcome it. A visual might help you to welcome it. So you could envision your arms kind of just opening like you would welcome a visitor to your house or something like that. You would just be like, yeah, come on in. Because you're safe right now, you're safe. The next question, could you also welcome wanting to change that or get rid of it? Push it away. Those are all synonyms for wanting to control. And then let yourself answer. And could you also welcome any sense that it's personal or that it's about you or who you are? Okay? And again, these might sound like strange questions, but they're hitting on very important sticking points in your conscious mind, the mind that tries to hold on to the fears and to keep you safe. There's a reason it's doing it. But we want to soften that because we really do want to experience what it feels like to let in all that flow and all that trust and all that releasing into the flow of the universe, right? So usually this takes a few times. You've got to repeat the questions a few more times. I'm just going to do it one more time. So let's do it again. So in touch with that feeling, the fearing loss of control that you thought of. So could you just welcome that feeling? Just welcome it. Don't stop pushing against it. Could you just do that just as best you can? And could you also welcome wanting to change it or get rid of it or push it away? Just as best you can. And could you also welcome any sense that it's personal, that it's about you or who you are? Okay, So we've only done it twice, and we could keep doing this maybe 3 or 4 times. But for the sake of time, I'm going to stop that one now and just check in and see how you feel now. Did you feel a release? Did you feel your body relax? Do you feel like your 7 went down to a 5? What is it? What's it like now? Really take note of that. So we're going to keep going. We're going to go to the next one, which is fear of loss of love or approval. Either way, they're really kind of the same thing, because remember, in this heart-mind connection, the heart does not use words. The heart doesn't make any sense to the heart. The heart feels. So if I say love, I say approval, they're different labels, but it's just to sort of give you something to hook onto to get to the feeling, because that's the most important thing here. It's not the word. For all our purposes, those are synonyms, okay? So fear of loss of approval. So if I were just to let go and release it all, what might happen around love and approval? Maybe your husband doesn't like you anymore, or maybe your wife just thinks you're loony, or maybe they criticize because they think you're gonna, go off the deep end, or you're just gonna become a, couch potato. So what is that fear that's kind of holding you back and holding you from opening to your good? Mostly, what does it feel like? I'm going to go into the questions. So that feeling, could you just welcome that feeling as best you can? And could you also welcome wanting to change it or get rid of it? And could you also welcome any sense that it's personal, that it's about you or who you are? Okay, let's do it again. So could you welcome that feeling about losing love or approval? Just welcome that feeling just as best you can. Yes or no? And could you also welcome wanting to change it or get rid of it or push it away? And could you also welcome any sense that it's personal, that it's about you or who you are? Okay, I think you're going to start to find that you start to loosen up a little bit and you start to feel just a little lighter. Isn't that cool? Okay, we're going to do the last one. The fear of loss of security. So the same thing, if there's anything you feel kind of like in danger about, it could sound a lot like the other two, like the danger of losing my boyfriend or my girlfriend or losing my friends. It's kind of related. But just try and think of a way to finish that sentence. If I were just to let it all go and open up to this energy and just let go, I'm not going to meddle with things. I'm not going to meddle with my life so much. What's the fear? What security or what insecurity comes up into your mind? And just run with that. So find that feeling, and here we go. So could you just welcome that feeling as best you can? And could you also welcome wanting to change it, get rid of it, push it away? And could you also welcome any sense that it's personal or that it's about you or who you are? And one more time. Could you just welcome that feeling? Just let it flow around and move around just as best you can, remembering you're perfectly safe. It's not going to take you over or harm you. And could you also welcome wanting to change that feeling, wanting to hold it away or push it away? And could you also welcome any sense that it's personal or that it's about you or who you are? So I think you'll see that this is a very useful technique, and you can always come back to this and try it again if you need to. thank you so much for being with me in this little journey, in this little experiment. If you liked this video, feel free to subscribe, and I will have a website hopefully pretty soon. And thank you again. I'm Melissa Joy.